Coming up, a WEBJ special on National Women's History Month. Stick around, you won't want to miss this. Good morning and welcome to WEBJ News. My name is Amog Matthews. This month is Women's History Month. Today we're going to look at stories that highlight female accomplishments in sports, in entertainment, and in the arts. But first, a little bit about the history of the month. March is dedicated to reflect on the often overlooked achievements and contributions of women in the United States. The actual celebration itself started in Sonoma, California in 1978. A school district organized a week-long celebration of women's contributions to culture, history, and society. This idea caught on within communities, and in 1980, President Jimmy Carter declared the week of March 8 as National Women's History Week. 6 years later, the National Women's History Project successfully petitioned Congress to expand the week into an entire month. This past year has been incredibly challenging for many. The coronavirus has devastated families and communities throughout the entire world. With almost all activities canceled, one woman used her physical training to complete one of the hardest physical challenges in the world, virtually.
That's the sound of friends and family members cheering on marathon runner Heidi Moody as she finishes her 2020 virtual Boston Marathon race. Heidi trains with Team Hoyt, and during the strict quarantine, Heidi and some of her teammates turned to training since the list of safe activities was so short.
There was a group of me and 3 other friends that still we were all training for something, so we had all that mileage under us, and there was really nothing else to do but to run.
For the first time in 124 years, the Boston Marathon was forced to cancel their in-person 2020 race because of the coronavirus pandemic. Even with a bunch of marathons under her belt, Heidi says that finishing this race felt different than any other.
It felt liberating to finally finish it in the midst of everything that was happening.
For Chicago runner Nicole Micah, she was looking to qualify for the 2020 Boston Marathon race but was unable to. But running symbolizes so much more to her than just a good cardio workout. She said the running community got her through one of her darkest times.
But unfortunately, my husband, he wound up passing away in July suddenly. I almost gave up running because that was what we did. But what I found is running and the running community was really came alongside of me and just helped me.
The Boston Athletic Association president and CEO Tom Grilk says that with caution they plan to host the marathon on October 11th. From the finish line, I'm Eden Jensen.
Thanks, Eden. The Boston Marathon is a serious achievement. Even in the world of running, it is considered a very hard course. Tyler Eglander has a story for us that highlights an African-American woman who made waves in the world of Major League Baseball.
Bianca Smith made history this offseason when the Red Sox hired her as the first female person of color to coach in professional baseball. But prior to making history, she coached at the University of Dallas. Her former players and coaches say they're not at all surprised by her success.
Bianca is a go-getter, man.
In 2018, Bianca Smith was a volunteer assistant coach at the University of Dallas. Head coach Eric Grafton said Smith was one of the best coaches he ever had.
It's pretty clear once you meet her that she's super ambitious. She's driven and high energy.
Outfielder Nicholas Hovde played under Smith in 2018.
One of the hardest working people in baseball that I've been around.
Both Hovde and Coach Grafton were surprised when they heard Smith was hired by the Red Sox.
It's groundbreaking, obviously. I mean, she's the first to do something. But at the same time, if you know her, it's of course she did this because that's who she is.
Whenever I heard it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That sounds about right, because Bianca, just her attention to detail and drive and love for the game was second to none.
As for the type of coach Smith is, Hovde says one word comes to mind.
I would say the word would be approachable, that you knew that you could always come up to her with any sort of question and she would give you a very well thought out answer.
As for what the Red Sox players can expect from Smith, Coach Grafton says 110%.
They're gonna recognize, just like everybody else, her energy and her drive and just her passion.
Smith will begin this season coaching Red Sox minor leaguers in Worcester. From Boston, Tyler Englander, WEBJ News.
Thanks, Tyler. Bianca Smith is truly a trailblazer in her field. When we come back, we have more stories that highlight female achievement, dedication, and resiliency in the world of entertainment and dance. Stick around after the break.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Queen is just my everything.
His smile did it. His smile, his eyes, his knowledge. My landlord, he decided that he wanted me to move based on the fact that I was transgender. Let's just respect people in everyday life for just being human.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, such a weirdo, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Welcome back to WEBJ News. This year, International Women's Day was March 8th. The global event had a theme, Choose to Challenge. The day was aimed at holding yourself and others accountable for gender bias and inequality. According to the Women's Day website, their goal is to help create a more inclusive world. Online gaming is an industry heavily dominated by men. Grace Coe explores how female streamers are choosing to challenge the status quo by making their mark on the gaming world, despite discrimination based on their gender.
Hello, guys.
Leah Cedeno is a college student studying studio TV productions. She combined the skills she learned at school and her passion for video games to become a Twitch streamer.
I wanted to do it because I really missed being in like a TV studio.
Twitch is an online public platform for live streaming. Viewers can interact with streamers through chat, and content varies from gaming playthroughs to just chatting. Catherine Pan is another female streamer currently in college. The pandemic shifted her classes to be online with a pass-fail option. She says this was crucial in moving her Twitch career forward.
The pandemic was the main reason why I was able to blow up. I instead was able to dump a lot of time into content creation, time that I would have never had if I actually had to focus on school.
Cedeno also says that if it weren't for the pandemic, she would not have the viewership she currently has.
People are just looking for people to talk to. The ability to be a part of a community is something that is so rare.
According to Arsenal.gg, viewership of Twitch streamers went up by 45% between March and April of 2020 alone. However, 70% of overall Twitch viewers are male. The top subscribed streamers are also male. Pan says being a female Twitch streamer on a male-dominated platform comes with difficulties.
A huge drawback of being a female streamer is the fact that a lot of your work will be discredited simply because you're female. That is very rude to go and discredit all of the hard work and effort that I put into the things I do.
Cedeno says sexual harassment is seen more often for female streamers because of the live chat function and existing social submissions to sexism. Despite the negatives, both say streaming is overall a positive experience. It is expected that Twitch viewership will continue to rise, but unfortunately, issues of sexual harassment has a long way to be gone. Reporting for WEBJ News, I'm Grace Coe.
Thanks, Grace. As the world opens, one of the last activities to open their doors is live performances. Wen Jingding has the story of a local Boston dancer.
I'm here in Boston Ballet. As you can see, the theater is still closed. Ballet dance and the performers didn't even know when can return to the stage.
When the pandemic began shutting down the United States, entire seasons were put on hold. The Boston Ballet and all theaters and performers in Massachusetts were cancelled in March 2020 until right now. While the show can't go on, the trailing continues. But arena life has completely changed by pandemic. During that critical period in 2020, most ballet dancer income fell by 50%.
2020 is a tough year for everyone, including myself. All the performances were canceled. All the dancing class actually moved to be online.
Xiaowan Yan is a professional ballet dancer by day and a dance instructor by night. She's holding ballet class every day on Zoom, including children's and adults. This is her way to survive. Right now on social media, there's so many wonderful classes and so many amazing dancers from all over the world. They're giving classes and doing all these motivational things that never happened before. It has connected the dancer community in a new and beautiful way and also brings smiles and happiness to everybody. The Boston Ballet current plan is to welcome audience back to the theater in August with comment, and to reschedule swim late and off the chairs for future seasons.
Reporting from Boston Ballet, I'm Wen Jingding from WEBJ News.
Thanks, Ding Ding. After the break, we have an inspiring story of a barrier-breaking woman who advocates for diversity in the hockey community. You won't want to miss this.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, such a weirdo, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Queen is just my everything.
His smile did it. His smile, his eyes, his knowledge. My landlord, he decided that he wanted me to move based on the fact that I was transgender. Let's just respect people in everyday life for just being human.
For our final story, Hannah Brewitt profiles Chanel, aka Mrs. Hockey. Through her work and message, Chanel has become a role model for girls everywhere.
Ice hockey is one of the most beloved sports here in New England. Rinks like the one behind me are typically bustling with kids and adults alike enjoying the game. Yet despite being one of the most popular, Hockey is also one of the least diverse sports. One local college student is looking to change that.
Representation is a tricky thing where like it doesn't affect you until you're like actively looking for it.
Chanel Keenan was born with osteogenesis imperfecta, a rare condition that mainly impacts the bones.
When you're born with a disability or you acquire one where you're kind of like, you know, do I make my life this? Like, am I the person that's going to write a book or, you know, be in a movie about what it's like to have a disability? There's obviously something missing for me in the world of sports. And it's just like representation in general.
Chanel was using her voice on social media to advocate for the disabled community when her work caught the eye of a representative from the NHL's latest expansion team, the Seattle Kraken.
He asked me if I would help them with that mobile app we're developing right now for the arena. And using like my experience with like the lack of accessibility in arenas.
But Chanel knew that she could do more than just help with the app.
Something inside me was like, you have this person's ear right now. And if you don't say what you really want to say, like if you don't ask for a little bit more, you know, in whatever way possible, like this is it.
This led to her current position as intersectionality consultant.
I really do take it as me trying to be like a voice for almost everybody that I can like be a voice for, because I think what I'm trying to do is to ensure that like they're actually really thinking about the disabled fan experience.
Chanel's goals are bigger than the Seattle Kraken and even the NHL.
Again, like I would hope that I can bring this energy to all those sports, and like I think obviously it was more important to me to bring it to the least diverse sport that I could really imagine.
Chanel hopes to bring diversity and representation to not just the NHL, but the entire sports world. From Steven Soretti Rink, Hannah Brewitt.
Thank you so much, Hannah. That was truly inspiring. For more of Mrs. Hockey, check out her Twitter at Chanelli37. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show on amazing women and their contributions and achievements. Visit the boston.gov site to see Women's History Month events coming up this month. I'm Amog Matthews for WEBJ News. Have a good night, Boston.